I'm Ebonie, aka Metal and Coffee, and this is Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. I have to say that April has been a really good month for metal. We had new drops from Mesa, Lopan, Kardashev, all of which that I've been spinning constantly. But today we're going to take a focused look at the new album from Conan called Violence Dimension. This new full-length album was released on their new label home, Heavy Psych Sounds, and it dropped April 25th. Conan has been around for close to 20 years, and they've become known for their signature barbarian doom or caveman battle doom. The band is literally named after the character Conan. They're from the UK, and the founding member, vocalist, and guitarist, John Davis, has been keeping the project pretty alive and well, along with Johnny King on drums and the newly added bassist, David Riley. I love how Conan has always been a trio, an epic battle trio creating this massively dense, rugged sound. Now, so far they've put out about 5 full-length albums, numerous EPs, splits, demos. They've just been killing it. And now we have the new album, Violence Dimension, which was inspired by John's love for Void's album, Dimension Hatros, I think that's how you pronounce it, and his overall awareness of how much of the world is fueled by violence. So let's get into it. If you've been a Conan fan for a minute, you know exactly what you're getting with this new album. Simplicity, down-tone guitars, massive distortion, and atmosphere over technical complexity. The album opener, Foeman's Flesh, kicks off the record with their familiar pummeling chug. The drums lay the groundwork, the tempo picks up a few minutes in, and around the halfway mark, everything drops to a sustained, fuzzy guitar note floating over thick distortion. Before everything explodes back up into marching, almost warlike grooves. All the while, John Davis howls mantras like life is death, death is life, time will kill, and endless vengeance. You know, the cool stuff. This is textbook Conan, starting with punishing grooves, slightly raising the tempo, crank up the fuzz and brooding bass, belt out caveman chants, drop the tempo again, let the guitar ring out a little bit, and finally close out with a thunderous drum smashing finale. Many of the tracks stretch close to 10 minutes, with the closer clocking in at a massive 12. And I have to especially shout out the drumming on this record, particularly on Total Bicep. Johnny King throws in variations that are almost neck-breaking. His use of punk grooves throughout the track injects a wild energy that keeps the song kind of interesting. mostly keeps this energy up throughout the entire record. But by the final track, Vortexon, I think that's how you pronounce it, Conan dives into this drone-heavy moment, very reminiscent of their previous album, Evidence of Immortality, and its closer, Grief sequence, though this time without the dark wave synths. It's one of those acquired taste moments. You either enjoy yourself in this drumless, ebbing wall of sonic white noise, or you don't. There's no in between. So when you're operating in the world of doom and sludge, repetition is part of the deal. And the riffs have to be absolutely sick for the listener to make it through a full song. And I think Conan got us mostly there. Desolation Hex features a core riff that scratches my brain in the best way. It's simple, but that last fuzzy bend on the last note is pure chef's kiss. And then there's the title track, Violence Dimension. Honestly, it's the best song on the album. And you can tell I love doom because this track is basically the same riff, bass, drum groove from start to almost finish. The only real changes are how hard the strums hit and how punishing the snare shots get. It's pure atmosphere over complexity, always the Conan trademark, but especially here. The song oozes this sandy western feel that is completely infectious, and I love how the vocals aren't introduced until the final minute of this 9+ minute track, almost like an epilogue to a desolate journey. This song will get you high naturally, and I love it. All right, let's talk about a couple things I was kind of meh about. Some riffs just aren't that memorable. For instance, on Total Bicep, even though I absolutely adore the drum work on that track, the riffs feel a bit flat. And it's interesting because this track actually contains the most costume changes of any song on the album, but the riffs just aren't it. They come off as unwavering and kind of flavorless, like give me something that I can actually remember. Take Righteous Alliance from the last album. The riffs in that song are even simpler than on Total Bicep, but they're more sultry and satisfying. Another great example is Amidst the Infinite off of Existential Void Guardian. Again, much simpler riffs, but the tiny moments where they hit minor keys bring so much life to the track. Another track on this record that kind of suffers from this flatness is Frozen Edges of the Wound. This was one of their singles, and while I didn't hate it, I felt like more could have been done. The chorus is fun, but when they drop into that extended jam and just bask in repetition, it kinda gets boring. And this track is only 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. I think I just prefer living in the world of brooding, slow chugs that build and then collapse, like the song Ocean of Boiling Skin, the second to last track on this new record. That song sounds absolutely demonic, and shout out to David Riley because those demons are coming from that bass line. In terms of the flow of the record, I gotta be honest, I don't know if we needed that 45-second song, Warp Sword. It feels kind of unnecessary. I get that maybe the band was experimenting here, but in a sea of lengthy compositions, it just feels unfinished, and it throws off the momentum a little bit. Honestly, just give me another Volt Thrower instead. That track was kind of the black sheep of Existential Void Guardian, but it was vicious, playfully vicious, and such a blast to listen to. So to wrap things up, this record is just Conan being Conan. Like I said, they have their formula down. The atmosphere is suffocating and dense, and they are setting us up to be warriors, or at least die trying. Some riffs and groups hit really well, and you don't even realize that you've been jamming out for a straight 10 minutes. And sometimes you notice it, and you kind of wish that they would wrap it up. But with that said, I'm gonna rate this record 3 out of 5 skulls. Alright, it's time for shoutouts, starting with the new record from Kardashev called Alunia. I was a big fan of their last record, Luminal Rights, and I've been enjoying this new one as well. It's death gaze that's quite light on its feet, but very technical at the same time. It made me step out of my comfort zone, and it's just been growing on me. Next shout out goes to the debut album from Idle Hairs called Life is Violence. This is a new project from Sean Ingram, vocalist of Colossus, and Josh Barber, producer and multi-instrumentalist. This is a post-metal dream record, and post-metal is so hard to get right, but they nailed it. The final shout out goes to Pigs Times 7 and their new album Death Hilarious. This band is so quirky. Think Chat Pile, but more stoner and psychedelic. They're always fun to listen to, and they never take themselves too seriously, which is obvious based on the album title alone. That's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, whether you agreed with me or not. Let's hash it out in the comments. Until then, see you later, metalheads.